brisket is perhaps the toughest piece. Now by that I don't mean just all texture, but it is difficult, more difficult than any of the other pieces of the meat that you're going to be preparing to do it and do it right. The brisket comes off the front part of the animal, as you know, and this will be beef brisket, but it can be the most satisfying piece that you prepare. So this being the last piece that goes in, again, be aware of your time. This is the 11 o'clock entry, so you'll probably be up most of the night preparing this. It's cooked low and slow. The smoke infusion takes a little bit of time too. Doesn't make any difference. We're using hickory, apple, a blend of the two. Mesquite is a popular wood smoke that lends itself great to brisket. But the brisket, as it comes off and rests and you begin to slice it in anticipation of your preparation, slice it against the grain. Obviously, that's the best way to prepare it. And the thickness, I think, is having the secret of that is key to getting it presented right and judged right. This is a number 2 pencil. This pencil you could use as a bench or as a template for the thickness of the slice of your brisket. The reason this is, if a judge finds a piece that's very thick, you may be a tendency to think, well, he's masking the fact that it's too tender, or giving it a lot of bulk. He's overcooked it, and it's mushy, and it's going to flake away on you. That's what the thickness gives us. So I think be consistent in your slice, the number 2 pencil. If it's sliced less than that, it could be thin, and it implies that, well, this is cut so thin because it's tough, and then you're going to pull apart. But so the best measure to do, and cut them evenly, at least 6 of the slices would have to go into the box. You can put in more, fill it up. There's all the other helpers in the judge's tent that would just love to taste your brisket. So load up by all of these clam shells, whether it be the chicken, whether it be the ribs, whether it be the brisket. As I said, you need 6 individual servings. Now, if you want to chop the brisket, put it in, you can make sure there's 6, like an ice cream scoop. There would be 6 scoops of chopped brisket. You can do it chopped, you can do it chunked, you can do it sliced, you can do burn-ins, you can do the slices. All of it is part of the meat. But it's, again, your presentation, no pooling of sauces on it, other than if you want to add the sauce. We're going to cook it, or we're going to judge it the way you entered it. Now, each of the pieces of the brisket, they're going to be sliced in, as I said, fill up your make with it. I'm going to select a piece here that pretty well meets that description of, the number 2 slice. That's pretty close right there. You can see that. Now, I always like to give it a sensory test with the taste, both with all the meats, with the chicken and the ribs. It just smells barbecue. A little smokiness, a little sweetness, or just the beef flavor that comes apart in that. So that's part of the senses. I get my mouth watering here with the sense, so much as by looking at it, by smelling it, by touching it. About the only thing, you can't sense this with the hearing. You cannot hear any of this meat, but it's the other senses we try to employ to make that most flavorful. So the meat itself should be pulled apart, should be able to pull it with a little bit of resistance, just very much so, that it doesn't flake off in your hand. But with that little bit of resistance, it'll then pull apart. See how nice and gently that came apart? That's the way that you can tell, boy, this is just about right on. So that's where the tenderness comes in, and then obviously the taste. This is the one that brings it on home.